Your life will change when you recognize that that voice inside your head that's telling you, oh, you can't do that, or that's too hard, or that's not realistic, that is not you. That is the voice that has been subconsciously running your life for as long as you can remember, but that is not you. That is the combination of all of the voices of society, of your caregivers, of whoever it was that influenced you in your way of growing up, that created these limiting beliefs that have been instilled within you. And then eventually you just begin to identify with them. You begin to think that's your voice, that's your intuition, because you've been hearing them for so long. And every time something that's scary comes up or something that makes you feel worried or anxious comes up, you have that voice inside your head that's like, yeah, don't do it. That's not realistic, or that's not safe, or it wouldn't work out for us. That voice is not you. And it's crazy because so many people let that voice run their lives of holding them back from these things that they want to try, or they have these little intuitive nudges of maybe I want to try this, but no. And they think that the voice that stops them is them. But in reality, those little intuitive nudges that are urging you to try this new thing or that have you be curious about something new, those are actually the core of who you are. You are not the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And once you recognize this, you are able to challenge these limiting beliefs and recognize where these limiting beliefs come from. You don't have to identify and accept each thought that comes up in your head. You can choose to counter it. You can choose to believe, like, no, that's not true. And once you start doing that, once you start noticing these thoughts come up, and instead of just following and running with it and letting it guide you, instead being like, oh, but is it true? Like, isn't it possible that I could do it? Or isn't it possible that it could work out? And once you start challenging those beliefs again and again, you start to build up this resilience and this belief in yourself, because you recognize that these limiting beliefs that you once thought were you are actually just protective mechanisms that you may have picked up from other people who are trying to watch out for you, who are trying to help you find the safe path. But once you recognize that that is not who you are and you're able to choose differently, you're able to counter the thoughts that come up in your head, you will no longer be living on autopilot, and you will actually become the creator of your life, recognizing that I can take aligned action and do whatever I want. Because in reality, you have free will, and we always forget this. We always just think that, oh, that voice in our head is just guiding us the way that's the most right or the most aligned. But the reality is that most of us are actually being held back by our own limiting beliefs that have been subconsciously programmed into us from society, from childhood, from whatever it is, not recognizing that at any moment in my life, I have free will and I can choose differently. And once you start choosing differently, you begin to take your life back and live the life you were always meant to live, a one that is brave, one that is living out of alignment and love rather than fear.